Hello, mamas. Welcome to another episode of You the Mom. And today I have a very special guest. She is actually better known as the Bull Runner, and she's the founder of the award-winning site, thebullrunner.com. She's known in the running world for her advocacy in starting off runners from scratch and training them to be marathoners through her very popular and well-followed the Bull Runner Dream Marathon. It's the only marathon in the world designed exclusively for first-time marathoners. And as of now, she has over 6,000 finishers to date. So Jaymie, I've said her name, is a passionate international marathoner and triathlete. She is the first Filipino to complete the World Marathon Majors. And under her belt is a total of 19 marathons. And she's also finished the Ironman 70.3 Cebu twice. Aside from that, she's also a certified health coach from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition in New York. And through running and her writing and a lot of other ways that she brings out her passion, she continues to inspire and motivate people to lace up and run. She's currently based in Vancouver with her two kids, Anton and Nia. And besides all these, she is most importantly my sister. Let's all welcome Jaymie Pizarro. Hello, Jaymie.
Thank you, Ate, for the nice introduction. And thanks for inviting me today.
Yeah, you have to tell them what you call me.
Ate Nice.
Nice.
When you're nice, you're Ate Nice.
Yes. And I was going to say in the intro that was edited that I've known you since I was 5 years old.
Yes. We'd like to tell the world that you're 5 years older.
Yes, I'm 5 years older. Fine. Although in between our birthdays, I'm 4 years older.
Yes. A few months.
Yes. So finally, you're here in my podcast. It's been a long time. I've been wanting to actually guest you here. And now we have reason to, because I know you're launching, or you've actually launched a new project, and we'll tell people about that later. Yes. But this is also an opportunity to share with people your story, because actually this month I'm trying to guest people who've followed their passion and also started communities because of that. So our common friend, our good friend Benz was our guest last week.
Oh, cool.
Right? So she said hi to you, I think, in the podcast. So you can say hi to her here too.
Hi, Benz.
Yeah, that's Benz of
used to guest us both together, the three of us.
Yeah, that would be
like
fun.
old times when we used to meet up.
Yes. So Benz is the founder of Weddings at Work. So she was my guest last week, and I thought it was really perfect that I have you here this time, because you represent the fitness world, right? So I wanted to also help spread your advocacy for fitness and health. So it's really exciting, because especially now we're going through this health crisis, it's really important for people to be more conscious about that, right? So
and I told you a few weeks ago, or I think you've known that also, it's been my advocacy, aside from just getting people to run, since I'm also a mom, it's been an advocacy also for me to get moms in particular into fitness or into running, because we all know, I think if you change the lifestyle of the mother into a healthier and better lifestyle, then the family will follow suit. Because most of the time, I don't want to generalize, but most of the time we are the ones who go to the grocery and plan the menu and feed our kids and our husbands. So if we improve our lifestyle, then so many people's lives will be affected, especially our kids, until they become older, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
So thanks for guesting me.
It's really perfect because as you said, we are the ones who put things in the grocery cart. Well, as of now, it's an add to cart. right?
Kind part.
And whatever we choose for ourselves, we choose for our families, is also what our children imbibe, and it's the good habits that we want to teach. And sometimes it just starts with basic knowledge. Like some of us are still clueless with what's good and what's not good, with all the information that's out there. And you being a health coach is really important too. And of course, I want to share with them what you've been through the past year, because that's also super transformational, right?
Yeah.
So super lots of information to learn from you today. But first, I want to start with sharing with our listeners your story, because people might think that you just suddenly became a runner, or that you've always been fit. Although, let me give a backgrounder. When we
Oh
were
no.
kids, when we were kids, I would just be sitting in front of the TV and snacking on mom's butong pakwan, whatever, whatever she had. And you would be working out all the time in front of, like, doing the videos or walking to Glorieta or
Jane Fonda.
something.
Jane
Jane Fonda. Let us date ourselves. So you've actually always really been active, well, at least in relation to me. But then you were always also struggling with a lot of, well, I don't know if you were really overweight. It's just that you were really conscious about your weight, no, back
Yeah,
then.
I
Or maybe,
had body issues.
yeah, yeah. So let's go from there. So you started off, um, no, not even. That was your how you were as a kid or as a teen, and then eventually, of course, you became a mom and all that. So let's start off with your story of how you eventually became the bull runner, or started your blog and your advocacy for running.
Yeah. So I'll start from where you ended. Basically, since I was in high school, my idea of being fit was being thin. And so if I overate, I would freak out. And that's when you'd probably see me jogging with a neighbor, or going on mom's, the stepper. Yung stepper lang from home TV. I'd use that, or do
Did
the
you use your
Jane,
trampoline also?
the trampoline of Joanne, our eldest sister, diba? Whatever was available at home, I would use to mainly to burn the calories that I ate, because I would be in panic mode if I overate, like pandesal,
I
diba?
remember.
Or
Or you'd eat
ice
French
cream.
fries and you'll weigh yourself automatically.
Yeah, so I that was a high school thing then, but for me, and then for me at the time, being good was sticking to my skyflakes diet, which was 3 skyflakes for dinner. If I if I messed up, then I'd freak out again. And so that it was a constant battle in my head with, in terms of my weight, which I think until now I still have issues, but I'm more of managing it already because of running and everything else, and I got into a healthier lifestyle. But yeah, high school was all about that. So pretty much even until college, where I gained even more weight, like the 10 pounds that they say you gain when you're a freshman, that happened to me. um, and I didn't have a sport. So while I was going to the gym, I'd be going to the gym 2 months and then quit because I didn't lose weight. So never into a healthy lifestyle, consistently healthy eating, never. Consistently being active or having a good wellness routine, no. It was really just trying to be thin, which, as we all know now, isn't really what being healthy and active and having a healthy lifestyle is all about. And so, fast forward to becoming a mom. So all throughout those years, from high school, college, being
Yes.
single, getting married, and having kids, I struggle with that on and off. I was pretty much constantly hungry.
I
That's
know,
it.
I remember.
Yeah, diba? And you would
Yeah.
always be the one who can eat 2 cups of rice
Yeah.
and you're still payat, diba? And so that was a struggle. But what the turnaround for me was that I found running,
Yes.
mainly I got interested in it because I enrolled my son in school, and then there was a flyer on how to get started with running. I signed up. It was apparently the PE teacher who was teaching it. There was a run clinic, and I was so excited for it. When I showed up, I was the only one pala who signed up.
Really? I didn't know this.
I was the only one, and so I didn't want to go around the village with him, just me and him running. So there was only one other person who I thought would be interested, and that was a parent in my son's um gymboree class. Yeah. And so I didn't know her. I knew lang she was fit because she'd come in workout outfit.
In a workout.
And asked her, "Do you want to join a running clinic with me?" She said yes, and then that's how it started. So yeah, so started running there, but also I got on a treadmill. I had a treadmill also, so I also picked up on running on my own and got a couch to 5K program. Started that, managed to run 5K on my own.
Couch to
Within
5K is online? It's an
Yeah,
online.
you just Google. It's pretty much a 0 to 5K program, which you'll find. Just Google it. You'll find tons of programs now. So yeah, I found running, and I think the biggest gift of running for me at that point in my life, especially when I started to join 5K races, was
Yes.
that it was more of a mind shift, wherein instead of basing my success or my activity or my idea of being healthy, instead of basing it on the weighing scale, it became more about my performance in running. So I didn't notice it at that time, but in hindsight, I kind of stopped focusing on the scale, and I was just so focused on I want to run every day, or I want to get faster,
Getting
or
stronger and stamina like
getting
that.
stronger, or training for a 5K. And so it became the goals changed. And at this time when I got into running, Anton and Nia were below 5 years old. So they were both toddlers. And also my life at that time was really, I was a freelance graphic designer, diba? So I
Yes.
never needed to go out to
Wait,
meet
but
clients.
Jaymie designed the Mommy Mundo logo, right? So I just want to
Right. And the mommy pages before. You
yes,
were my first
everything.
client.
Yes, I was her most active client. Urban
Yeah.
Mom or magazines. Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead. Sorry.
So I didn't need to go
Yes.
out. My life at that time was being mom. That was who I was, or being the wife. And I was in my early 20s. I didn't know it also, but I like didn't have an identity of my own. I was kind of lost in just being mom or wife. And what running did also was to give me my own identity. It became, when I ran, I had my me time. I had my own goals. I want to be better at the 5K, or I want to run a fast 10K today. And I would set goals for myself. And then I was happier just coming home, doing something for myself. I started meeting new people. And so running changed me even before I created the blog. It changed me, transformed me positively already. I just became happier. I think my family noticed that too. Changed my perspective about everything. And then TBR, thebullrunner.com happened, which was like 6 months into running. It was my birthday, May 5. I was in my dining table. I turned 30. Yeah, turned 30 that time. And I thought I loved running so much. And I'm talking about running so much to everyone. I talk about it with you, but you're like, yeah, happy for you. But since you don't run, you can't really relate. And
Yeah.
so I wanted a blog where I could just share my passion for running with anyone and everyone who
Yeah.
would. So created the bullrunner.com. I'm a graphic designer, created the logo in 5 minutes. I'm a writer also, designing newsletters and all. Wrote 3 blog posts, put it out into the world, and thought no one would ever read it. But like within
Yeah.
6 months after that, parang I was getting like 70,000 hits a month. When
Yeah.
I
That was
joined,
huge back then. Well,
it
even
was,
until now, actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I'd run outside, people would call me, "Uy, the bull runner," and I'd
Yeah.
Guys, this is so weird. But yeah, so in that sense, running changed my life even more because
Yeah.
wow, I would could never have imagined what the bullrunner.com, the blog, brought into my life. It took me all over
Yeah.
the world with sponsors and partners and friends who supported me in my quest for like to be a world marathon majors finisher, which was to finish the the 6 marathons in the world.
Yeah.
I was fully supported by friends and partners and sponsors, mainly because of the blog. Um, I
Yeah.
felt I felt like the support of the running community then, and now. And so it's just been, yeah, transformative completely in a good way in every sense of the word. That's
Yeah.
what,
So
yeah,
that's
I don't,
really like that's really just
yeah,
yeah, no, but that's really inspirational because you really just followed your heart. So you're the seed of wanting to of discovering running, and then just because from your desire to get fit and get healthy, right? And then it just so happened that you wanted to share what you were learning and experiencing at the time.
yeah,
And also, I guess it's timing also, like the same way that when I started Mommy Mundo, it's like we were early movers, diba? So Benz and I were talking about that at that time there were no such platforms also online.
yeah,
So there was a need for that sort of information, and people were looking to connect that way. So
agree.
I remember you were an award-winning blog, and then you were being invited to talk, and you were having endorsements, all because of your story about
Yeah,
you being a mom, and then just suddenly um discovering yourself in running. And I remember you'd always try to recruit me to run with you or to
I'm
join
ready
your
now.
right. Yeah. And then also I also organized the mommy milkshake, and you'd be there, but that's all that I could do, like our 3K, 5K. But that was it. But for
There's
other
still hope. I'm
yeah.
still hoping.
Yeah, okay, keep hoping. You'll never know. But then you really did change a lot of people's lives, whether mom or men or people who thought that they could never do it, or people who were just trying to find a way to get healthy or get fit, or really just wanting to conquer the marathon,
Yeah. I
mountain of the Mount Marathon.
Yeah, but for your viewers or listeners who don't know, because from the Bull Runner, we created the
Yeah,
Bull Runner Dream Marathon, right?
yeah,
This is way back in 2010, and the inspiration behind it really was when I ran my first marathon in 2009. Um, I had I think for every runner, their dream is to run a marathon, which is a 42-kilometer race. And
yeah,
I was just constantly injured. Every time I trained for one, I couldn't reach it. I'd end up
yeah,
injured. Couldn't really run one. I think 2 years I was sidelined. Always like being so frustrated why I couldn't do it. And when
yeah,
I finally did one, when I crossed the finish line, I felt like a new person. And I'm not even exaggerating it. It's like completely true. The moment I crossed the finish line, I was thinking, wow,
yeah.
I went through so much
Yeah.
my wording
Edit, edit.
to hell through that 42K course, like if I did that and survived all that,
Yeah.
what can't I not do in my life? And I'm telling you, it really crosses your mind na parang I'm so strong. I'm so
Yeah.
invincible. I'm like the winner. I'm the champion. Kahit na ang dami ninyong dumadaan sa finish line na nag 42K, you feel like you're the
Yeah.
best, strongest person
Yeah.
ever. And so wow, that feeling was stuck with me for that whole month, I think. And that's when I conceived of me and my co-founder, Jim Lafferty, conceived of the Bull Runner Dream Marathon, which was the first
Yeah.
and the only marathon in the world that caters to first-time marathoners. Basically gets people who have never run a day in their lives to
Yeah.
run a full marathon with our guidance. So it's different from other races wherein you sign up and then you just
Yeah.
wait for the race and then you show up and you do the race and then you go home. Ours
Yeah.
is sign up 6 months before. We'll give you the program. You run with us with our running clinics. We'll give you running talks. There's a community online to support you, and eventually that online community actually you run with face to face, and most of them become friends even after you
Yeah.
finish the marathon and graduate. That's what we call it. They become your
Yeah.
friends. They're kind of more of your healthy friends who will keep you motivated and will
Yeah.
support you through your journey, whatever it is, if it's to run more marathons or to get into other sports activities. It's basically a healthy lifestyle that you jump
Yeah.
start, diba? So yeah, that's what TBR Dream is. And like what you were saying, that I we and the team TBR Dream transformed lives. I think it's more of like we provide the venue. We
Mm-hmm.
provide you, the runner, with a space and the help, all the support that you could possibly have to do
Yeah.
that. All we do really is to be there for you, but it's all you. That's what we say. If you want to mess it up and not train and
Yeah.
win the 42K and suffer, because you will suffer if you don't do the work and you don't commit to the program, that's all on you. But if you
Yeah.
do the work and you just really follow what we tell you, listen, and be involved in the community and be fully committed to the program and to your healthier lifestyle, which is really all the best for you, then
Yeah.
it's also all on you. So always it's all on us to
Yeah.
have
But
fun.
also, Jamie, I remember you were giving people like the best experience possible. Like you'd spoil them, like even with the hydration and the gels and the chocolates and stuff.
Yeah.
So when I would recruit, because I'm one of your top recruiters for TBR
I
Dream,
know.
even if I
Kulang
haven't joined.
buti na lang yung commission mo is like intangible, like hugs.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
love, sisterly
Oo,
love. That's
love.
all. I'm so cheap. No, just kidding. No, priceless commission. But I really tell people, like my friends, like if you're going to join any marathon, join TBR because you really set the ground. It's like fertile ground for training, like proper training. Like if you DIY it, you'll end up with injuries or you'll get traumatized, right?
Yeah.
Or you're just really not ready for that
Because
grueling experience.
yeah, it's the reason why we prepare you so well for it is because I
Yeah.
was the one who did all the mistakes. That's
Yes,
why I could never
right.
get to the marathon. I was constantly injured because I was doing all the
Yeah,
wrong things. And at the
yeah.
time, 2008, 2009, it's not like there were there's so many marathoners now, or you just Google
Mm,
and there's much info. At the time, even
yeah,
watches weren't so high tech. We didn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
what we were doing.
Mm,
Puro guesswork. And so all the mistakes I made, as also all the good stuff that I saw running races abroad, training with the best coaches,
yeah,
everything was put into TBR Dream.
yeah,
And
right.
through the years, we're like 11 years now. through the years, we just keep on improving. Then we get feedback
Yeah.
from the past alumni. So
Improving it all the time, right?
definitely
Yeah.
improving. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you'll
Give
see that the community is so strong. Like people are so passionate about it. They just want to give back. And then every time you have another run, everyone's volunteering for it. So the energy is really a
yeah.
unique one. So if ever, well, right now it's on pause, but of course it will eventually happen again. So when that happens again, you have to be ready for the next dream marathon. But for now, well, we're all going through this period nga of um, reevaluating everything and making changes in our lives, most of us, right? And so I want to ask you to share about what you've been through the past year. Of course, we're both in Canada, so our experience might be different from people back in Manila. But tell them about the changes in your life or realizations you've had in the past year, and also how that eventually um, gave birth to your new project.
Yeah. Wait, let me start with telling you the
Yeah.
story of when COVID hit for TBR Dream Marathon.
Yeah.
Because TBR Dream, the 11th one, was scheduled for Feb 16,
2021.
2019.
Oh,
2019,
2019.
the
Was it
previous one.
2019?
When COVID hit, when
Yeah.
COVID was
Oh, that was
starting.
2020. The year I left.
20,
That's the
at
year
the
I
year,
left.
yeah. Oh, kasi 2021 na ngayon. Okay.
It's confusing, no? Kasi parang hindi existing yung 2020.
Parang,
Parang we just
oo.
figured it out, diba? 2020,
Exactly.
Feb.
Tama. COVID hit. Yeah. Okay. So 2020, last year, shucks, last year lang yon. Okay. So last year, we were scheduled for Feb 16, 2020, TBR Dream. The runners had trained 22 weeks for the full marathon. But in January, Taal volcano erupted, right?
And that's why we were wearing masks.
We were
Because of
wearing
Taal.
masks. Yeah. And my race was supposed to be in Philinvest City and there was ashfall. And I
Yes.
was here and freaking out because we didn't
Yes.
know if the race would be able to push through the ashfall. And my team and I, we were meeting saying, ang malas naman natin.
Yeah.
Now we are saying, sobrang bad luck that the ashfall happened. What were the chances of this happening? It's like the worst thing ever.
And then I was telling you, they'll inhale the ash. We're talking about that because I was in
So
Manila.
dangerous. Yeah. So what happened was we had to decide if we were gonna postpone the race to March or move the race venue. And it was so stressful for me. The dilemma was really, as a marathoner myself, I know that when you train 22 weeks and you postpone a race to 2 months after, your training is gone.
Yeah.
It's all messed up. You're gonna be in trouble. Diba? Plus you did na the training, then you have to do it again. Parang nag-aral ka na for a test and then they move it 2 months. You forget everything. You have to restudy everything again. So I could not do that to our runners. So what we did was we changed the venue. And my team was so good that within a week of telling them, they found a new race route. We came up with a map, told everyone, and then it was fixed. And we're like, yay, we can do the
So
race.
what day was it supposed to be?
So
Feb.
same day, we just changed the venue. Because it was either change venue or change date. So we decided change venue. Okay. And then the day I was gonna fly back to Manila for the race, which was Feb, but a few days before the race. Yeah, mid-Feb. It was when I was still here, waiting for my taxi to go to the airport, to go home to Manila. DOH announced that they discourage holding big events because of COVID, because COVID was starting. So that's when UAAP, I think, canceled, or a big sports event was canceled. everything was being canceled, but it wasn't mandatory. It was parang DOH was telling people to cancel events.
Yeah.
And so I was here and thinking, are we gonna cancel? And I was gonna land in Manila for the send-off party of the marathoners, wherein they claim their kits. That's a Wednesday. The race is a Sunday. So usually the send-off party is the big celebration. You're ready for the race. You're
Yeah.
gonna run it on Sunday. You have your race kit and you did all the work and the training, and we're gonna do the race. Ganon.
Yeah.
So flew back, landed in Manila, sat in my room for 2 hours thinking if I was gonna go to the send-off party to tell the runners that the race was gonna be canceled because of COVID.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
what happened was, after meeting with lawyers and doctors who said it's still safe because COVID wasn't, it was
Yeah.
like
No.
parang in Wuhan pa lang or starting na, but
Yeah.
not, it was too early pa. The lawyers and the doctors just said, since your event is outdoors and it's a small group compared to like bigger races,
Yeah.
just make sure that you have all the precautionary measures in place. So that's what we did. My team again was super galing, and the sponsors also came to help. We provided alcohol, sanitizers. We discouraged hugging and high fives,
Yeah.
and drinking from sharing drinks or whatever. But yeah, we were able to push through with the race. And what happened was we were actually the only marathon that was held in the whole 2020 in the
Yeah.
Philippines. So looking back, what my biggest learning from COVID for that particular race was, wow, you can think that the world is falling apart. We thought it was falling apart with Taal, with the
Yeah.
eruption, and we were saying we're so bad luck. And then COVID happened, and we're like, wow, how malas that the DOH is saying. Because at the time we didn't know how big COVID was gonna
Yeah.
be.
I remember you were asking me, diba? And then I said nga that it's
Are we
actually,
overreacting?
yeah.
Diba?
Kasi in Canada,
Oo.
wala, diba? Parang none pa
Wala
talaga.
pa. Yeah, when I left here, wala pang konti lang
Yeah.
sa airport. We didn't
Yeah.
have an idea that it was gonna be a global
Yeah.
pandemic. So we were still thinking, how bad luck were we that this happened to us? But now in hindsight, after seeing all that through all this that's happened, now you see that we were actually lucky to have
Lucky.
held the race.
Yeah.
And
True.
so that's when my learning is, sometimes you think you have the world's biggest problems or that the world's falling
Yeah.
apart on you, when actually it could be a blessing.
Yeah.
Diba? Actually, you're the lucky one.
You're the lucky one, right?
Always look at things from, now I'm learning to see, always look at things from that perspective, that no, it's
Yeah.
not all about you. They're
Yeah, correct. True.
diba? So okay, so
Yeah.
that's the TBR part. And we personally, so after that,
Yeah.
TBR
So
was
that's
held.
one. That's also the last time I saw you because that was the first, before I
Ah,
went to Canada. That's the last
tama.
time I saw you.
Yeah.
Then we said, we'll see you in Canada. And then we're like, when will I see you again?
Weird.
Crazy.
Um,
Okay, so then you flew back and then,
Back here, then COVID hit here, right? And so we also went through the restrictions. I was taking up my master's in Center for Digital Media. And so almost instantly on a Friday, there was talk that classes would go remote. By Monday, we were all remote. Thankfully, we're digital media. So
yeah.
the transition was smooth. So school was from home. Everything became from home. What happened was I was so stressed with it. And I'm a stress eater. I'm a muncher. I think you know that I'm a muncher. When I'm stressed, I have to be munching. So I was really munching every day. And then my work for grad school was constantly online on the computer till late at night. And to stay awake, I'd be constantly munching. Um, And then on top of that, so the food part was like messed up. Um, and then on top of that, for the past over a decade, since I started running in 2006, I have had goals ahead of me, 4 months ahead of me. And I always have a program in line with that to train for that particular goal, whether it's a marathon or a triathlon. So it sort of keeps my life organized in that sense, because I wake up, I don't have to think what I'm going to do for a workout.
Mm.
Habit. It's my lifestyle actually, that I'm training for this marathon in 4 months. I know tomorrow I'm gonna do a 20K. And then on Saturday I'm gonna do this. So it's, and just by having that program set every day for me for the past decade of my life, it also kept my life organized. Everything, once I start my day that way with a training program and a good run or a good workout, the rest of my day will follow in terms of work or school or getting organized with my kids. It's just the way
Or
it
your,
was.
di ba?
So,
Yeah. Or your
so when
mood. Yeah.
mood, yeah, everything's just, it sets the tone. So when COVID hit and races were canceled, 2020, I signed up for a San Francisco Marathon.
Yeah.
Then I supposed to do Grand Fondo ride to Whistler, and then I supposed to do another marathon end of the year. All those were gone, and
Yeah.
so for someone like me who's very goal oriented, I was super lost. It's like almost like, why will I work out now if there's no race?
Right.
So, and then people at the time were saying, don't run too far or too long, don't tax your immune system because you might get COVID if you're weaker, right?
Right.
So maybe for the first few months of COVID, mga 4 months yon, I was munching, constantly at home, eating whatever, and not
Yeah.
working out as much. I was
Less
still
workouts.
running.
Yeah.
We were lucky because diba, here they were still encouraging people to go out and
Yeah.
exercise without masks, even because they said it was safe to go out without masks
Yeah.
as long
A
as it's
lot of
open
open spaces there.
and social
Yeah.
distancing. So I still running, but definitely not even 1/4 of what I used to do. Plus
Yeah.
emotionally, mentally, there was also this feeling, this thought na parang, wait a minute, I've always pushed myself so hard for years, and maybe this is a time to like give
Relax.
myself a break,
Yeah.
diba? Because I'm stressed and anxious with COVID, maybe I should let go and relax. And it's good for me.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think in that sense, in some way,
Yeah.
it was good. Diba? I
Yeah.
got to,
Well, COVID
yeah,
had waves. 'Di ba? COVID had waves na parang we can still be productive even if there's COVID and we're on quarantine or lockdown. Then after that, people got a bit tired and said it's okay to rest and relax and sleep. So maybe it was part of that waves that you were also riding on
yeah,
your own.
yeah. Which led to waves in my weight. And that's
Yeah.
that's the segue. Na
Good
para
segue.
diba? When I was heavily into triathlon and marathons, my weight was steady. Didn't, like I said, I didn't have to focus on my weight. It was always about getting stronger, getting fitter. My weight was stable. When COVID hit, I gained, actually I say I gained 8 pounds, but I hit higher than that for sure. And I didn't know it. Because we're always in loungewear. We don't go out, diba?
Yeah, yeah. You don't
So
notice masikip na pala
I
yung
had,
jeans.
I had no idea I gained so much
No, but
weight.
James, remember you also had problems like with your cholesterol and things like
Cholesterol,
that. I was
yeah.
wondering about that because I was thinking, my gosh, with the way you work out, I wanted to mention it because nga, people think that because you're exercising and you're really like super conscious already, that you think that you're already at the optimum, health, but actually it has to be a combination of a lot of things, right? So you had a cholesterol problem, and then you're talking to Harvey of the Baron method, who's really doing really well now, diba, with his awareness on, and he's part of your program, which we'll talk about later.
Hey, he just texted me now. Funny.
Harvey, hi.
What's his name?
Wow, that's weird.
Weird. I'll tell him later.
Okay, so I know you were seeing him and you're really tweaking your diet all the time, like really checking what can you improve with your cholesterol and all that. So yeah, so go ahead. So you're at that time already bearing the weight of your relaxed time. So you
Yeah.
gained your weight.
So I gained weight. Yeah, then that was shortly after I got myself checked here. My cholesterol, my LDL was high, which I knew has been that way for the past more than 5 years. Always said it was due to genetics because dad always had high cholesterol. Because I was a relatively healthy eater for years, and I was like, I can't fix anything with my diet anymore. I'm like, whatever, I'll just continue because that's
Yeah.
the way it is and it's genetics, right? And then I guess I snapped out of it myself. I can't even pinpoint a particular time when I just said I'll change my ways. I just got tired of it. And I just told myself one day, enough is enough. COVID is not an excuse anymore.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I'm equipped personally because I'm a I got my
Yeah.
institute of my health coach certification from Institute of Integrative Nutrition 2015 pa. Just
Yeah.
never really used it. But everything's in my head. I mean, I know what to do. I just didn't do it. And so this was the time for me when I said, "Hay nako, tama na. I'll get on it and fix everything." And that's when fixed my program for running. I said I'll join a virtual marathon, picked up my program, made sure I'd hit at least 35 kilometers per week. Made myself a calendar, would check it, would write, journal my food, watched my intake. I also decided to go vegan first as an experiment to lower my LDL because I was always a healthy eater and I didn't know what to do anymore. So I experimented and eggs, which I super, super loved. I always thought I could never live without eggs and cheese. But I think like as a marathoner, I always knew it's all in the head. And if you just put your mind to it, set your mind to it, it can be done. Then it becomes easy once you practice it. So I just told myself one day, stop eating. I used to eat 2 eggs every day, I think for over a
I
decade.
know. I was so surprised you'd eat 2 eggs every day.
Because people
Yeah.
say it's okay, it's good fat.
Yeah. Plus with your with your workout.
Yeah, so people, I think it still is. I think it's good fat, but they say there's like a sort of a disclaimer that for people with cholesterol problems, some will react differently. Which is something that I'll also teach later on. I'll tell you about it, bioindividuality. So just remind me about it. But yeah, I had to experiment with myself on my own to figure this all out. Went vegan, cut most fats, even if they say they're good. So I cut peanut butter, cut avocado, cut eggs and cheese, dairy, all dairy. Cut those for a month or two, got a blood test again, and my LDL was normal. Diba? I texted you. I'm super happy. First time in my life that I figured it out. So that's when I decided I'll just go completely vegan and it solves everything. Because even when I started running, I remember the run, my first run the week after I went vegan, I felt so powerful.
Yeah.
Amazing. So anyway, that's what happened. That's my COVID story. Basically, I dropped the 8 pounds, fixed my program again, fixed myself, even I guess my focus on, because I graduated na, my focus um on things, I became more organized. That's when I eventually got to finally do my dream program, which is this TBR Life program, which
Yeah.
I've always just wanted to really do because it's more about holistic wellness rather than just running.
Yeah.
And that's when everything fell into place. I guess it's true that everything has to be holistic. You can't just
That's
fix
true.
your fitness part and then have a bad diet. You can't just diet
Yeah.
and then not work out. All of it is just interconnected. And so
Yeah.
when you fix all these areas and change your lifestyle and the habits become sustainable and become a part of your life, then
Yeah.
everything just falls into place, which is what really happened for me. And which is why, similar with TBR Dream, whatever happens to me, all the mistakes I made,
Yeah, so
I'll
I
share
was
to
so I'm gonna
correct
segue from there.
it
Perfect
back.
segue also that
Yeah.
right now you're doing it again. You're really you've created another program to share all the experiences and all the learnings, plus being a coach as well and being a fitness expert, right? And experience in all that, you're putting it into this program and sharing it. So so there are three components to your program, which we're going to talk about now. So three M's. So the first one is what you've been advocating ever since, which is movement,
Yeah.
right? So I know that it's a program for everybody, but since our we're on a show on for moms and actually dads as well, right? So
Gary,
in terms, yeah,
Daddy
Gary,
Dribbles,
Daddy
listen.
Dribbles. So in terms of movement, what is the number one tip you would give? I guess in general, and then if you can have a specific one that's naman how moms are. Like you'd always tell me before, diba, your tip or your advice for moms is to incorporate workouts as if it were a meeting or
Yeah.
if it was a doctor's appointment of your kid, na you won't miss that appointment with yourself or for yourself. So
Yeah.
in terms of the movement component of your program, your new program, what would be the number one tip that you can share?
So for movement, in terms of my program, what we're focusing really, I'm a cardio person, diba? I'm an endurance person. I just really just love to run, bike, swim. That's what I've done for years. But in this program, we know the importance of strength training already, especially as we age, and that's what's happening with us. So
Yeah,
for older moms and even younger ones, strength the important thing is that you have your cardio, which
yeah,
is any aerobic activity, right? Running, walking, just moving, get out there and move. But the core of my program really is the strength training portion,
yeah,
which is really to build muscle, because especially for moms who want to lose weight or maintain weight, you really need that muscle mass. You need the muscle in your body to keep your metabolism normal, not
yeah,
getting slower as you age, which is really what happens as we get older. Your metabolism slows down, you have less muscle. You're gonna be having to eat less, which is not fun at all, right? And so my tip is really to go for strength training while moving your body. So strength training doesn't mean that you're going to go to the gym and start lifting heavy weights. It could be as simple as just buying resistance bands
yeah.
and doing exercises at home, or body weight. But there's
Yeah.
so
Or
many
the
apps
baby, they
now
can make their baby
for
they have to
baby.
cry baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's
So strength,
incorporating it in their life as well,
yeah,
whether or not you have a baby, a toddler, or if you're an older mom, there are
yeah.
ways to do it too.
To really give importance to it, because I think most of us, especially the women, or like me even, kunwari I overate, I'd be freaking out and I'll say I need to burn it. And the
Yeah.
burning is always I'll bike, or I'll run, or I'll walk. I need to burn it.
Yeah.
But no, if you do the strength training and the build the muscle, then the muscle
Yeah.
burns the calories for you in the long run. So
Ah, that's
strength is
really
important.
interesting. And
That's
also,
my
we also have to remember that as moms, as women, we're hormonal, 'di ba? Like we also deal with a lot of hormone waves, another wave. So
yes, we're
being
premenopausal.
yeah, premenopausal, and well, for the younger moms, it's even dealing with hormone changes with pregnancy and breastfeeding that
My God.
is really like ups and downs also. So which is why we have falling hair and our skin changes and things like that. So and working out is a way also to
Keep
kind
it
of
in
alleviate those hormonal changes, whatever effects it has on our emotions, on our mood, in our energy levels, diba? So yeah, so
definitely.
that's movement. So now
Yes.
we go to the next M, which is meals. So nako, this is really important because syempre, the mom bods were so conscious and the dad bods. um and everyone's into all these different diets, even calorie counting, and
Macro.
really ultimately it's making the right choices, diba? Right, this year Mommy Mundo is all about mindful choices, making mindful choices for ourselves and our family. So what are you going to teach, or what's your tip for people in terms of meals, like you went vegan and that's how you found the solution for yourself?
Yeah.
Is it kind of in the same route na you're going to be making everyone eat vegetables? You know that sometimes people think, oh no, 'di ba? I have to go organic or I have to all that. So how is it gonna be? Like what are you teaching people, or
Yeah.
what's your tip for them?
So for the meals, we're going to be focusing on a whole foods plant-based diet. Not vegan,
Yeah,
plant-based, right? So
yeah,
more of it's a diet that relies more on veggies and fruits, healthy
yeah,
stuff, minimally processed. So we avoid refined sugars, canned goods, processed
yeah,
food. And we rely more on grains, beans, veggies, fruits, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be eating salads daily or anything like that.
yeah,
Um, so my tip for meals is that to remember, and I'll go back to what I told you earlier, the word bio individuality. That every person's body is different. So you can see that keto works for this mom and she lost 50 pounds in like 3 months or whatever, and you do the same and you don't lose any weight, diba?
that's right.
Or paleo works for someone, or macro counting works for someone, or even it applies to workouts, CrossFit, triathlon. I mean, some things will work for other people and it may not work for you. So one person's medicine can be poison for another, right?
Yes,
So I think what the greatest tip here is that you really have to pay attention, and like which what your theme is, mindfulness. Pay attention, be mindful with your food, how your body reacts to food that you eat, and learn to see what works for you. So if you see that after a week of eating this and that, you maintain your weight and you feel great and you feel strong, then maybe that's what works for you. If, like, for example, today you didn't eat dairy, and like 70% of people are don't react well to dairy, which is mostly lactose intolerance, really. And me, I really advocate for non-dairy products and to stay away from dairy because it just causes hormonal problems, just so
yeah,
many issues, really. And so, like, for example, if you try and see cutting out dairy for a day or two and you notice, wow, I don't feel gassy or bloated, or like I don't have brain
yeah.
fog today,
Irritable. Yeah,
or irritable, yeah, or maybe that's PMS. But
also.
still, yeah, then maybe you could lessen dairy if you're not ready to give it up, just lessen it. But yeah, the key is to pay attention to how you react to food, and be mindful of your eating habits. Don't just stuff food down your throat or be like me na when I'm stress eating, I'm just munching, not even paying attention to what I eat. Yeah, because what works for one person may not work for you. So don't be always assuming that everything's gonna
Yeah.
just follow something and it will work for you already. So you have
Yeah.
to figure it out also on your own. It can sound hard, but actually it's pretty easy. Just pay
Yeah.
attention,
Well, that's really
basically.
interesting that that's bio individuality because di ba we've been taught like even in school, this is what's good, this is what's bad,
Yeah.
this is the oil that's good, this is the oil that's bad, and things like that. Of course, there are good and bad things, but then
Yeah.
so it's interesting if you're
Or
going to be teaching how certain food groups affect the body or how
yeah,
it's processed in your body and things like that,
yeah.
and in
And
some people
and
it will result in certain reactions.
And even now, if you notice, people are even saying now, don't even call one food bad and one food good, right? All
Yeah.
food is the same, and you're supposed to have the freedom to eat it in moderation, knowing how much
Mm.
you should eat it or how often. But there should be freedom from guilt of
Yeah.
eating bad stuff because you can life is short ren, diba? I
Yeah.
don't say everyone should be vegan because I don't believe in that. I love food, especially when
Yeah.
we travel. It's a way to experience life and everything. It's just that I really love veggies, and so that's me,
Yeah.
diba? But
Which I wanted to ask because not all moms have the access to like go organic, which is really ideal because it's pesticide free and
yeah,
stuff like that. But you did mention about whole foods, diba? Like less processed foods, and ultimately that's really the we all know that's a better choice than canned goods and junk
yeah,
food, right? So
yeah,
in the end, that's what I guess we have to be mindful of, like really cooking our food well and
yeah.
choosing fresh and things like that.
I always say it's always best effort lang. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Best effort. As long as you know you're doing your best to get the best food that's
Yeah.
accessible to you, especially now during COVID, diba? It's not like I
Yeah.
can't buy organic because it's COVID. You feel like a failure na. Hindi, diba? As
Yeah.
long as you found ways to get the healthiest that you could, if that means it's canned peas or canned beans because yun
True.
lang yung pwede, then get that versus like you'll just say, ay, hindi pwede, then I'll just have them eat
Well,
chips.
Filipina.
Or,
Yeah.
diba? Or,
That's
diba,
true, that's true.
dalaka na lang
But
palagi.
being educated is key, 'di ba? Parang at least you have to know that there's a
What's,
better choice and you make the
yeah,
decision. Like today when I indulge or and at least
yeah,
we can also teach that to our children, right? And our
definitely.
husband.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. That's really interesting that at least if ever they'll go into your program, they won't be like thinking that, oh, it's so ideal. Because it's hard. Like people have budgets, people are time and energy conscious, diba? So, and
yeah,
then the third, which is also really important, which you kind of touched on earlier, is mindset,
yeah,
right? So, especially now that we are going through so much uncertainty, there are still things that we can control within our homes and in ourselves. So, what are your tips for moms who are going through a lot also in terms of themselves
yeah.
and running their households
So
and the family?
for TBR Life, we're gonna focus on three things with mindset. So that's self-care, which is
Yeah.
really you can't it's anything that makes you feel good. Diba? Yun yung definition ng self-care.
Yeah.
It can be anything.
Yeah.
If it's running for you or if it's reading a book or even just doing
Yeah.
nothing. Diba?
Right.
So self-care, we're gonna be talking about mindset, mindfulness, which is one of your
Yeah.
themes also. Just being present in the moment. I'm a
Yeah.
big believer of mindfulness because I think it's even the way I live my life. It's just always being present in the moment and not wasting any minute. Uh, I sat in a talk before with John Maxwell,
Yeah.
But with our friends invited me,
Yeah.
Anthony,
Anthony and
Maricel.
Maricel Pangilinan.
And what really stuck with me was just a few words. And he said, make each day count. Right.
Mm-mm.
And that's just being present in the moment, making sure you do serve a purpose for that day.
Yeah.
So that's one part of it, mindfulness, and just making sure you're making use of your
Yeah.
time all the time,
Yeah.
even if it's doing nothing. And and
True.
also, we're gonna have in the TBR Life Challenge, and I think a lot of the moms, or not even just moms, even the guys are,
Yeah.
are even the single men
Yes.
are excited about the meditation challenge.
Yeah.
So one of our coaches will be Trisha Chongbian Concepcion.
Yeah.
Uh, and she's gonna lead the 21-day meditation challenge. So the whole TBR Life Challenge is 4 weeks. The
Yeah. So let's talk
meditation,
about TBR Life. So it's
yeah,
TBR LYF, right? TBR
yeah,
Life. So
yeah.
21 days,
It's 4 weeks.
4
4
weeks.
weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, 4 week. It's a 4 week movement mindset meal challenge. We're giving you the guidance from the coaches. The coaches are Coach Chappie Carianta for the movement, which is the strength
Yeah.
portion. Coach Let Anubia for the cardio portion, which is more of running talks, because the cardio will
Yeah.
encourage you to do it by yourself. And then we have, like I said, Coach Trisha Chongbian Concepcion
Yeah.
for the mindset. She's gonna be leading the meditation challenge. And then Meals Harvey, the Baron of the
Yeah.
Baron Method. So he'll be giving talks as well. So
Yeah.
basically, TBR Life, we created a plan for you, a lifestyle plan for you. And it's in a platform that's going to be accessible to you if you sign up. Most are on demand, meaning you can watch videos that have been pre-recorded. We in the plan, we recommend when to watch those, but it's really, of course,
Mm.
flexible based on your own time. Then we
Yeah.
also have live sessions, which aren't as many because we know that it can be difficult for people, especially moms, to follow a
Yeah.
schedule. Plus, now since it's an online challenge, time zones are different, even for me and for
Yeah. True.
giving time
Yeah.
zone. So,
And Trisha is in the States.
Picture is in San Francisco, so
It's
we're
a
managing
different,
so many time
yeah.
zones. So
Yeah.
we wanted to have a mix of it because, of course, engagement is different when it's live, but
True.
still, most are recorded just to allow everyone to be able to join at their own time. And so there, the plan will give you sort of a schedule to follow, and it's a challenge. So while TBR Dream, we spoil them, this one we're gonna push you out of your comfort zone. So even for meals, we're gonna put challenges there wherein I'm not sure how easy or how hard it is, because syempre everyone joining will come from different backgrounds, right? But there
Yeah.
will be days when the challenge is don't eat meat. For some that will be easy, for
Mm.
some that will be
Yeah, that's
hard,
true. Yeah.
diba? The challenge is really for you on your own to, will you do it or not, diba? Because you're
Yeah.
on your own in your own home, and we say that the program is flexible enough,
Mm.
but still at the end of the day, I challenge you to commit to everything, and
Yeah.
really push yourself out of your comfort zone, because we're giving you whatever you need to succeed. Um, and and we're hoping that whatever habits you practice in the 4 weeks become transformative, so that it becomes a part of your lifestyle, even if it's just one
Yeah.
thing, right? Like drinking 3 liters of water, which will be a challenge also, almost daily,
Yeah.
2 to 3 liters of water. Um, that's part of the meals. Mindset is, like I said,
Yeah.
the meditation challenge will also be encouraging journaling, um, which I think you know as well. I'm not sure if you practice it. Do you write in your journal great 3 things to be grateful for? Parang we
Yeah.
talked about it before. Or that I do
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's gonna be mindset challenges, meal challenges, movement
Yeah. So
challenges,
so how
all
would
later.
it be at the start of the program? You have a goal and then you'll check on that on the end like that.
Yeah, we have when you sign up, so sign up is now until August 31.
Mhm.
After that, you'll receive an email from us with a plan. It's the handbook, which includes the plan and the journal and sort of a guide to tell you what the plan is, the challenges that are put in front of you, and the
Yeah.
schedules for the session. So there's an accountability meet up with me every Monday, just so
Mm.
we can talk about how you're doing,
Yeah.
what needs to be adjusted, 'di ba? Parang may nagbabantay because based on my
Yeah.
experience again, most of the time, most of us know how to eat right. We know what to do to get to lose weight or maintain our weight. We
Yeah.
know how to be more positive, or we know we should be
Yeah.
journaling and being more mindful. We know all this, 'di ba? But when no one is checking up on us and we can cheat sometimes
Yeah.
and not do it, then we will. But when there's an accountability coach, someone that you have to answer to, someone who's
Yeah.
watching you and checking if you're following the program, then there's a greater chance for success. So that's why I put that in an accountability meeting every Monday. Just make sure that you show up
Yeah.
to that too, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
there's an accountability check in, and then there's also the Facebook group of all the participants so that we can support each other as well, because it's different. Like, you built your own community of moms, and even the marathoning community, you support each other to reach that goal. I wanted this one to also
Yes.
have a community wherein you just really help each other to reach that common goal, right? There's more chance for success
Yeah.
when you're together. So
Yeah. And I think it's the ideal time to do it kasi we're all at home. Well, at least especially those in Manila, 'di ba? You have this like you can make it your own project for yourself that you can get into, and it's like three dimensions of life, which is the most essential ones.
yeah.
So so where do they
Uli-
go for information?
So for information, tbrlifelyf.com. That's also where the registration is.
Mhm.
Yeah, everything's there. If you need
Yeah.
to, if you have any questions, you can message me on Instagram, because that's really the only thing I check most of the time. You can DM me there, but all the info is on tbrlife.com. So
Yes. So
lyf.com.
Jamie's on at the Bull Runner on IG. If you have
Yeah.
any questions for her, or you can also screenshot your Spotify, or if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or on YouTube, just screenshot and post and tag us and tag Jamie, and you can ask her there, and she will answer. Right?
Yes, I will.
That's so cool. So I love the program. It's certainly really what people need right now. And I think that's where not only moms and dads, but everyone has questions on nutrition and fitness, and especially mindset. I think with the pandemic, that's what everyone has turned their focus on, like having a healthy mindset. Kasi nga, there's so many things going on that we can't control.
Agree.
So, and I love your coaches. I know all of them. So, it's great that you all came together and doing this together in spite of the time differences and all that. So,
Yeah. So
perfect. I'm also
excited.
excited to see. Yeah. So, thanks for sharing it with our community, James. And, a lot of moms look up to you too. Di ba? Parang if you can do couch to 5K and then you did couch to 42K. Imagine couch to 42K and then couch to triathlon. I mean, from zero to what you are now, and then
Yeah.
now eventually going into this program and offering it to the moms, to our fellow moms, then that's such a big thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to tell moms that
Yeah.
it I mean, moms look up to me, not really look up to me, but I think it's because I'm so like them. Because we really didn't have any sport, diba? Hindi naman tayo super
Yeah.
athletic. When we were growing up, we didn't have
Yeah.
You're too much. You're just playing around or going to the gym or whatever. And so I guess I'm very relatable in the sense that I'm not athletic.
I
Never
think
sport, never
I think
any.
now that people see you, kasi the moms now, they don't know na that part
The
of your life.
past.
They know
Yeah.
you already as it's fitness is part of your life. And my friends who seen you on your social really say that they wanna be that, na parang fitness is part of their lives. Like healthy
Mm,
choices are part of their lives, which is exactly what you're helping people achieve now. Like not
yeah.
everyone can do the marathon, but at least start with TBR Life and then mali mo, they graduate to your marathon community after.
Yeah. I think it's even a bigger accomplishment to change just even a little thing in a person's lifestyle. Like if we
Yeah.
can have one mom be drinking 3 liters of water daily for
Yeah.
after TBR life and for the rest of her life, and then her whole family does that. That
Yeah.
will make us happy,
Yeah,
right?
that's true. And remember, moms or kids watch us even if you don't say anything, like they're watching us. So if they see you being conscious about what you put in your mouth or just hydrating or being active or yun nga, just moving, diba? And
Yeah.
that's eventually what they're going to imbibe in their own lives, right? So
Yep.
there, that's great. I love it. So I'm excited for you. Thanks for sharing it here. And actually, we're going to be promoting it in our community as well because this is the month of signups. Again, it's until August 31 on tbrlife.com or just check her Jamie's Instagram and it's all there too. So, hey, so if you picked up anything on this episode, please share it online. And again, we're raffling off 2,000 shopping credits in our Mommy Mundo e-commerce, and we're just giving away treats for you if you picked up anything. Just share it because other moms will also learn from you when you do that. Okay, so as we always say here on You the Mom, we believe that mom life is supposed to be celebrated and cherished. So we believe that moms should be celebrated as well. And with that, we say, You
E-
the Mom.